Today on the Trent Out Loud podcast. These text messages are shocking, don't get me wrong, horrible, but is this enough evidence? What up? It's your boy, Trent Out Loud, and I'm back with another episode. All right, it's Friday morning, my favorite day of the week. Y'all know how I get down. The weekend is here. But before the weekend starts, I got a good show set up for you guys, all right? We're going to talk more Diddy. We have another Diddy segment. We're going to talk about Diddy's next court date. Then we're going to talk about what Diddy's lawyers say about the witnesses and the victim. Then we're going to talk about the feds exposing Diddy's text messages. Trust me, they are shocking. Then we're going to talk about Diddy's longtime publicist leaving, 50 Cent's comments about Diddy. The Game talks about Diddy wanting to kill Drake in LA. And then we're going to close out our Diddy segment with Shyne weighing in on what he thinks about Diddy's arrest. Then we're going to jump into quick news. We're going to talk about Nike CEO stepping down. We're going to talk about Amber Rose. We're going to talk about Cassie being spotted outside, Diddy's ex spotted outside for the first time in a long time. Then we're going to talk about Nelly, Fabolous, and Fat Joe. Then, as always, we're going to close out the show with question of the day and a little bit of sports news. Y'all know what time it is. Turn your TVs, your radio, or your devices up. I'm about to start this show. Let's go. All right, before I start this segment off, I just want to thank all the new subscribers, the new viewers, the likes. We said yesterday that it was our biggest show. The day before that, it was our biggest show. It just keeps on getting bigger and bigger. So welcome to all the new people to our podcast. All platforms are doing crazy, especially the biggest has been YouTube. So thank you to all the new subscribers and welcome to the Trent Out Loud podcast. All right, so the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is Diddy's next trial date. We all know that Diddy has been arrested. We all know that he got denied bail, not once, but twice. Now everybody is saying, what's next? Here is the latest from Megan Cuffin. I do follow her on Instagram. She was one of the trial reporters for Tory Lanez. She is the best when it comes to these, especially hip hop journalists being in court and giving us the latest. So shout out to Megan. I've talked with her on the phone a couple of times. I did tell her that we're doing big numbers with Sean Diddy Combs. So we are going to be talking more often, and she's going to try to relate as much breaking news to me as possible. So shout out to Megan. All right, so Megan, and by the way, Megan was shouted out on a lot of the hip hop blogs, so like the Shade Room, Hollywood Unlocked, and all of them. So shout out to Megan, you're doing great out there. All right, so this is what Megan told us lately. She said there is no trial date yet, but the status report is due on Monday, and everybody is back before Judge Andrew in Manhattan for a status conference October the 9th. So what is a status report? The status report is just, okay, this is what's going on. Okay, the bail has been denied. What have you given to the lawyers? What has the prosecution given to the defense? They just want to update the judge on what is the status where everybody is. But Diddy is not going to have to go back in front of the judge until October the 9th. That is the next trial date set. All right. Like I said yesterday, really important to note on the status report, and we'll see if we get more information on Monday. How quick is the prosecution going to start giving their evidence to Diddy's lawyers? That is going to be essential in this case. Like I said yesterday, I think the prosecution is going to try to delay. They're going to drag their feet. You've seen it in movies sometimes where during discovery, they'll bring in, 150 boxes of paperwork and documents, and it will just take months and months and months for Diddy's lawyers to go through that. They are not going to make this discovery process easily. So I'm really interested to find out the status report, and I predict that his lawyers are going to already start complaining about the prosecution dragging their feet. Like I said yesterday, they are going to try to delay this. The longer Diddy sits in jail in limbo, not knowing what's going on, the more easy it is for Diddy to break. Oh, what's going on in my life? What am I doing? What am I doing here? And the jail where he is at, I've heard so many reports of how disgusting it is in there. It's hot during the summertime. It's cold during the wintertime. Academics were saying on his live stream the horrible food that he's eating. There's judges that has even said, talked about the deplorable conditions of that holding prison. It's not a real prison. It's kind of like a holding jail, if you want to call it, and it's horrible conditions. The prosecution is going to try to make Diddy sit down there as long as they can, year and a half, maybe 2 years, and break him and say, holy cow, you know what? I'm done fighting. I want to get a plea deal, or I want to give up people. So the status report on Monday is vital. So keep it locked. And I will follow up on Monday of this. All right. So Diddy's not back in court until October the 9th. The status report is due Monday. All right. Okay. So after that, now let's move on to Diddy's lawyers and what they say about the witnesses all consenting. This also is huge. A lot of people are talking about this. Listen to one of Diddy's lawyers on, I think it's, I don't know if it's on a podcast or whoever it was. It's Chris Cuomo, that used to be on CNN. But listen to what she said about consenting and about the witnesses. This is a major part and development in the case. Take a listen.
Innocent means he didn't do any of the wrong thing. Not guilty means they can't make the case.
He's
right?
innocent. What was notable today, what my partner Mark said in court, is they never once said that these women didn't consent to what happened. Not once. The difference here between R. Kelly, between Epstein, no charges relating to minors.
So this is all adult consensual activity. People can judge it morally, but legally, you believe he committed no crime.
All right, so I can't play the whole thing there for copyright reasons, but a couple of key things. She said that one of the things that Diddy's lead lawyer, Mark, said in court yesterday was all of the 50 witnesses, all of them said and admitting to consenting being there. That is huge. And like I said yesterday on yesterday's show, there's 50 witnesses, one victim. So Cassie is the one victim, and she's also a witness, and there's 49 other witnesses. Diddy's lawyers are saying they talked to all of them, and the common denominator is that they were all consenting. Diddy's lawyers, you heard what Chris Cuomo just said there. Is it that he's innocent or you cannot prove that he's guilty? His lawyers are saying he is innocent. Everybody involved was consenting. That's what Boosie was saying yesterday. That's what a lot of people saying in the comment section. Hey, say whatever you want if whatever he did was excessive, etc., or whatever, but it was all adults. You heard in the clip there where she said, hey, this is not R. Kelly or Jeffrey Epstein. There was no minors. Minors are not able to consent. These were all adults. They were all consenting. Not drawing an opinion, just giving you guys the facts. That is going to be Diddy's defense. Hey, you were all grown-ups. Nobody forced you to be here. You were all consenting. What they're going to have to prove, and we're going to get to the text messages soon, is what happened after the consent. That's my whole thing. Is it's not so much the consenting and the sex, it's what happened after when they wanted to leave, and him being abusive and him being threatening towards them when he didn't want them to leave. But everybody's saying that that's a major hole in the prosecution's case, is that everybody is consenting, and they'll have a hard time proving the abuse and threatening part. All right, so now that we have that piece, let's move over to the text messages, okay? Assistant USA attorney reveals more text messages allegedly sent to Diddy by female victims. One of them said, I am not a rag doll, I'm someone's child. Notice how they said allegedly here, okay? We all have to be clear. None of this has been proven yet. This is obviously why we're going to court, right? So, here are some of the text messages allegedly sent to Diddy, okay? The first one says, I turn my head for 1 second and you get effed up and you drag me down the hall by my hair. The next text messages reads, and she says, I have bleeding cuts. The third text messages reads and says, you hit me in my head 2 good times. The last text message says, when you get effed up the wrong way, you always want to show me that you have the power and knock me around. I'm not a rag doll. I'm somebody else's child. Okay. Now, here is another text message. Allegedly, this was a text message sent to Diddy from a girl 3 days after Cassie's suit. Okay, so this is back, I think, in November 2023. The suit came out. This is what a female allegedly texted Diddy. She said, "I feel like I'm reading my own sexual trauma. It makes me sick how there's 3 solid pages, word for word, exactly my own experience and anguish." So what's really important is, yes, this is damaging. Yes, there's text messages. However, they're alleged. And I don't know if that acts as proof. Just because a girl texts somebody and says, "Hey, I see you're being sued by Cassie. I see it all over CNN and whatever. You did the same thing to me. I feel like I'm reading, my story. 3 pages, word for word. It sounded exactly like what you did to me. You're a sick man." Is that proof that he did that? I don't know. We'll see as the months go on, and we'll see more of the evidence, right? Like we've seen so far, the only evidence we've seen of Diddy actually hitting anybody is him hitting Cassie in 2016. That's the video that CNN broke. That has passed the statute of limitations, so that can't be used in court. Is a text message going to hold up? All we've seen so far is them releasing text messages. These text messages are shocking. Don't get me wrong. Horrible. And I'm sure it probably gets worse. But is this enough evidence? I don't know. All right, so now that we've done the text messages, let's move on to Diddy's longtime publicist quitting. Diddy's longtime publicist reportedly quits amid his sexual trafficking and racketeering charges. Hip-hop veteran Sean Diddy Combs allegedly just lost an executive member of his leadership team. Sources say the billionaire's publicist, Natalie Moore, quietly stepped away from her role after 20 years, days after his indictment on federal RICO charges. Reports state that as of yesterday, which is 2 days ago, Wednesday, September 17th, Natalie Moore's phone was allegedly disconnected and her email is showing a no longer active reply. The 55-year-old worked as Diddy's head of communication and reportedly played a significant role in shaping the media mogul's image, as she did other several business ventures with him. This includes his fashion label Sean John, his fragrance line, Ciroc Vodka, Bad Boy Reunion Tour, and Can't Stop, Won't Stop documentary, his Vote or Die campaign, and Diddy Runs the City campaign. Diddy reportedly handpicked Natalie Moore in the late 90s to work with him. She had been a faithful employee even after the Homeland Security raided his home and his ex-girlfriend Cassie filed the bombshell sexual abuse and trafficking lawsuit against him in 2023. A source familiar with the matter says Moore was left with no choice but to step down in light of Diddy's recent arrest. They said, "Natalie is gone. She quit yesterday, and she had no other choice. She had to quit. What else is she supposed to do? The situation left her no choice." They went on to say, "Diddy was her entire world. She will surely be deposed if she hasn't been so already. She has most likely had her cell phone confiscated, and who knows what's in there." As we've been covering Diddy, who's 55 years old, he's been detained on RICO charges, whatever he stands, etc., etc. So Natalie quitting is really significant, just like how Kevin Lyle's quitting and stepping down is significant. You can't reach her by cell phone. You can't reach her by email. She's going to be off the grid. Maybe she might move out to the United States. We'll see. Your publicist is one of the closest people to you. I remember when I was doing my book tour, my publicist, you speak to your publicist 2-3 times a day. What's going on? They are in charge of your image, your likeliness. And I'm talking about, when I talk about my book, I'm talking about a very, very small level compared to Diddy, who you're crafting an image. Ciroc is $1 billion company, $1 billion opportunity for him. So they worked super close. I am not surprised that she quit and she wants to try to separate herself as much as she can. We are going to start seeing the dominoes falling. Like I told you guys in the past couple of episodes, you see Kevin Lyle's leaving. You see now Natalie. In the next couple of weeks, you're going to start hearing a lot of people going underground. And like we said in yesterday's episode, and Stephen A. Smith alluded to, what Hollywood elites, what rappers, what actresses, what politicians, who is going to start running away, moving away, and leaving positions? And like I just said, Diddy is now locked down. He has no bail. That's why people know, man, you got no bail. You're sitting down in jail. You want to come outside. Christmas is coming. yo, call the feds. I want to talk. Yo, maybe Natalie knew something. Maybe Kevin Liles knew something. And then, these people are now realizing that him not getting bail is now time to cut their losses and be out, because you never know what Diddy could do. All right. All right. Now that we've done with Natalie, we're going to jump to Mr. 50 Cent. Y'all know 50 Cent is very vocal when it comes to Diddy. I mean, he pretty much just hates Diddy. Let's just call it what it is. 50 Cent says Diddy's legal situation is in part because he made liquor executives very uncomfortable. All right. So for those of you who didn't know, Diddy had Ciroc with, oh my gosh, not Seagram's, but Diageo. And then he had DeLeon, I think also with Diageo. And there was a whole suit where he was saying that they were giving too much attention to their other lines, and because he was black and a black owner, and they're doing more with the other tequila, Casamigos. Anyways, there's a whole case, right? And he was actually kind of moving forward with the case. And what 50 Cent is alluding to is the fact that, hey, you play with these billionaires, they're going to, call in their favors, and they're like, hey, we don't want to have to pay this guy $1 billion for this DeLeon and Ciroc vodka stuff. So, take care of him. Who knows? They said the same thing about Bill Cosby when he wanted to buy NBC. All of a sudden now they brought all these women and all these charges. Same thing with Michael Jackson. He wanted to buy Sony Publishing. Then they ended up killing Michael Jackson. Everyone's always going to say that it's because you're going after some big fish. Then, they're going to call the feds, and, everybody, all of these big billionaires, have all these, people in their pocket, right? Anyway, here is 50 Cent and what he has to say. Take a listen.
It's great for us to work for them. It is not so cool when you start to own things. And these people have really strong relationships. Don't think that the civil case doesn't turn into a criminal case faster because he's making them uncomfortable. That's a big part of it.
All right, well, that's 50 Cent's opinion. Y'all know how much of a big fan I am of 50. I don't necessarily agree with this, but who knows? It's all conspiracy theory. Let's move on to the next thing. As actually the next story is actually Game talking about Diddy, which is another conspiracy. We'll never know. You're going to start hearing a lot of things come out now about Diddy. Game confirms that Diddy attempted to have Drake's life ended in LA. Here's a clip of Game. Take a listen.
You found out that they're trying to set up Drake in LA at one point?
Him and Diddy were beefing. They didn't come from Diddy directly, but when there are beefs and they are here, no matter who it is, like there's certain people that are going to get called, and I'm one of those people.
We've all heard about that beef in hip hop stories, like that. Starting from the bottom. No, not starting from the bottom. 0 to 100 real quick. Whatever, blah, blah. Like I told you guys, you're going to start hearing people coming out the woodworks. Now that Diddy's in jail, he's not getting bail, he's not getting bond. We're going to hear stories, and that's just Game. The last thing that I got here for you guys is Shyne. For some of you who don't go back this far, Shyne was one of Diddy's artists, and Shyne was arrested for what they claim is that Diddy brought a gun into a club when he was dating J-Lo, and he put the blame on Shyne. They say that Shyne took the rap for him and he paid him off. Anyways, this goes back, I don't know, 10, 15 years, almost, maybe even more right now. But anyways, here is Shyne, one of Diddy's old artists who actually spent close to 10 years in jail for Diddy, talking about Diddy being incarcerated. Take a listen.
I was defending him, and he turned around and called witnesses to testify against me, and he contributed. He pretty much sent me to prison. This is someone who destroyed my life.
All right, I'll read you guys a little bit of an article. There's been many people sharing their thoughts after Diddy was arrested officially in NYC last week. Former Bad Boy rapper and current leader of the opposition in Belize House of Representatives, Shyne Burrows, spoke to the media in Belize, and when asked his thoughts about Diddy being arrested, he reflected on the 1999 club shooting that ultimately landed him in prison for almost 9 years. All right, there you go. It happened in 1999. Damn. And he was in prison for 9 years, not 10. Shyne said the mogul was responsible for sending him to jail when he tried to defend him. Shyne made it clear that although they reconciled after his release, their interaction was only for business purposes. He said, "This is someone that destroyed my life who I'll never forgive." Anyways, I won't read on. I just played you guys a clip. So that's one of Diddy's former artists, of course, has a grudge who you would be too if he sent you to jail for 9 years, right? But anyway, so that's 50 game Shyne. Just wanted to pull a couple of things out there to show you guys what people are saying. As you know, this is not the end of it. People are going to start coming out with Diddy stories. There's going to be more accusations. I'll keep you up to date, not only with the Hollywood gossip, but more importantly, what's going on with the case. Come back here for Monday's show. Don't miss it. We'll let you guys know what's happening with the status report and what we can expect going forward with Diddy before he appears in court October the 9th. All right. Like I said yesterday, any news that's breaking about Diddy or anything else, please send it to us. We'll try to get it on the show. Send us an email, trent@cfqr600.com. Comment below. Let me know what you think of our wrap-up, our Diddy wrap-up. Give me comments. Let me know. I'll try to get it on Monday's show. And you can also reach me at any of my social handles at Trent Out Loud. All right, this brings us to quick news. Ring my bell. Nike CEO announces he is stepping down following rocky tenure with the company. Sneaker insider Nice Kicks has confirmed that John Donahue has stepped down from Nike. Donahue's tenure has been filled with scrutiny, market share loss, and shareholder frustration, even lawsuits. I was one of those lawsuits. I'll tell you more in a second. Hold on. Donahue took over as CEO of Nike in January 2020, bringing with him a background in technology leadership from companies like ServiceNow and eBay. However, despite the intense focus on digital transformation and innovation, Nike has faced challenges in maintaining its dominant market share during his time. Donahue will be replaced by Elliott Hill. Shout out to Elliott Hill, a longtime Nike veteran who retired in 2022 after 32 years. Hill will serve as a Nike CEO and president. Nike lovers, are y'all surprised? All right. For those of you who don't know, I owned close to 10 sneaker boutiques in Canada. Started out here in Montreal, had Toronto and Vancouver, one of the biggest sneaker boutiques in Canada. And I had issues also with John Donahue and their new Nike offense, especially during COVID and coming out of COVID. I'm not going to get into it today, but I will read something on one of my press releases that I did put out. And I said here, I can't remember what article this was, but I was on like Yahoo Finance and a couple of other interviews. I said, I still love Nike as a brand. I still wear my triple white Air Forces every day, and that will never change. It's not Nike, the brand, that I have an issue with. It's the new management. John Donahue, Nike's new CEO. I have called him out since the beginning. Their new offense, their new strategy. There's a lot of things that I wanted to do with my stores, a lot of changes that I wanted to make. And Nike fought me on it. I decided that I wanted to fight back with them. There was some, legal letters being thrown around, and I ultimately decided that I didn't want to open back up my stores because I did not like the direction that John was taking Nike. I would rather, take what I have and leave. And so I have to be careful of what I say. So this is not any way to like gloat or any way to say like, I told you so, but I told you so. All right, in our second quick story, Amber Rose and Iman Shumpert spotted in Miami. Amber Rose and Iman Shumpert were spotted having fun in the sun in Miami Beach. The pair was spotted soaking up some rays. While the nature of their relationship is unclear, the two aren't strangers as they were both on the season of BET's College Hill at Alabama State University. I love Teyana Taylor, Iman's ex, obviously. And, everybody is going online being like, how could you leave Teyana Taylor and go to Amber Rose? Geez. Now, I don't want to hate on Amber Rose. Let her do her thing. A lot of people are upset with her supporting Trump and the things that she said and et cetera, et cetera. My whole thing is, Teyana Taylor is a treasure. She's a gem. And, Amber Rose does her own thing, but this is shocking, my brother. This is shocking, man. Hey, they do say that they're not together. They do say that they're just on the beach chilling. But I'll put up this picture. It's not like they were at the beach, just chilling. They didn't look like they have a bunch of people around there. There's a picture of them like taking up their shoes, walking away. Like they're going back to the hotel, yo. You know what I mean? So anyways, hey, shout out. If that's your girl, that's your girl. But yo, Tiana Taylor, man, whoo, bro, I don't know where you go after leaving Tiana Taylor. All right, in our third quick story, Cassie spotted out publicly for the first time since Diddy was taken into police custody. Earlier this week, Diddy was taken into police custody after, blah, blah, blah. On Wednesday, his ex-girlfriend Cassie was spotted in New York publicly for the first time since he was in custody. She was spotted linking up with friends for dinner. It is also the first time she has been seen since the surveillance footage showed Diddy abusing her in the hotel back in 2006. I have a little clip. You could see I have a little clip. Just listen. Well, you can't hear her actually. If you're watching this on YouTube, watch how frightened this girl is of the paparazzi and stuff. Like everything that this girl went through, and these paparazzis are hounding her. I know they have a job to do, but I just feel really bad for her, man. But anyways, take a look.
Hey Cassie, how are you? How do you feel about all the allegations with Diddy going on right now? Do you feel justice is being served right now?
And just really scummy, actually. But anyways, happy for Cassie that she feels comfortable to be back outside. People are like, yeah, because Diddy's off the street. She feels comfortable now. Listen, he still got people outside, I think this is probably Cassie just, doing a little minor victory lap. Like, yo, you're inside. You got bail. I'm outside in New York having dinner with my friends, So anyways, shout out to Cassie, man. All right, in our fourth quick story, Nelly sued by former group Saint Lunatics for uncredited work on his debut album, Country Grammar. All right, man, this is really sad. Somebody who, runs a hip hop show on CFQR600.com. Like, I play Nelly, I play the Lunatics. This is just sad to see your childhood homies in court suing each other. So anyways, it's really sad, but Nelly found himself at the center of a lawsuit from some of his childhood friends. According to reports, on Wednesday, September the 18th, former hip-hop group Saint Lunatics, Ali, Murphy Lee, and Quan and City Squad filed a lawsuit against Nelly for copyright infringement over uncredited and unpaid work on Country Grammar. The men claim that Nelly failed to properly credit them for 8 songs they contributed on his 2000 debut album. Jeez, guys. Like, this happened 24 years ago, and now you're going to court. Just sad. I hope they find a way to work it out. Don't let money get involved in your friendship, yo. Nelly, take care of your boys, man. All right, in our fifth quick story, Fabolous admits Beyoncé ran him down for offending Solange on one of his raps. All right, this is really funny, man. Anyways, I have the clip. Let's jump to it. We're running low on time. Listen to the clip.
Beyonce low-key checked you about a lyric. I knew people were paying attention. I didn't know Beyonce was paying attention. And it was kind of like some mixtape underground. It wasn't like I said it in a joint with me and Mary J. Blige.
Fabolous said something on a mixtape on an underground track, and Beyonce was like, yo, I heard you talking about my sister. Yeah, I just love this because everybody, thinks that Beyonce is like, oh my gosh, Queen Bee, she's this, she's that, or whatever. I like that she's so down to earth that she's still listening to everything that's going on in music, and she doesn't feel like she's too big to ride for her sister, So I love that, man. Shout out to Queen Bee. All right, in our sixth and final quick story, Fat Joe premieres his new talk show, Fat Joe Talks, on Stars. The show will premiere October the 4th. Hey, I'm just shouting this out because, like I tell you guys all the time, content creators run the world. We are your new form of entertainment. Fat Joe, as you guys know, a hip hop artist for sure. But for the past 2 or 3 years, Joe has been doing podcasting. He's been getting on his Instagram Live. He's been putting in the work, and now it's paid off. He's getting his new talk show on a streaming platform on Stars. The same thing like I'm telling you about Stephen A. Smith with his podcast, Shannon Sharp. You're seeing all of these people in Hollywood, former athletes, Travis and Jason Kelsey, football players, sports analysts, movies, like Shaq, they all coming into the podcast world and getting these big deals. So regardless if they're celebrities or not, I like to look at us as peers, and support. So make sure y'all tune in to Fat Joe's show that's premiering on Stars. And Fat Joe, if you see this, send some love back to your boy, right? Shout out and tell your listeners to watch the Trend Out Loud podcast. All right, this brings us to question of the day. All right, I really like that we're ending the week off with such a solid question because sometimes I do pick some whack questions, I won't lie. When did you know the relationship was over? All right, the first person, DTread21, said, when I realized I was more lonely in my relationship than when I was single. Yo, drop. I love that answer. I mean, sorry for you that you felt that way, but a lot of people take for granted of how horrible a relationship is. Sorry, I don't know if take for granted is the right word, but a lot of people don't realize staying in a bad relationship is far worse than being single. Yes, like me, I'm single. I get lonely sometimes. It's boring. It's this or whatever about it weighs on you. Family, people. Hey, when are you going to get married? When are you going to do this? When are you going to have kids? I'd rather be single and be lonely at times than be in a horrible relationship. And you also feel more lonely in those relationships when you're not connected to somebody. So if you're in a bad relationship out there, get out of it. Chosen _ by the creator said, I became numb and mentally unstable. And that's when I knew the relationship was over. All right. That's pretty clear. You start feeling like your life was better before you met them. 100%. So many people stay in bad relationships and don't realize, hey, you know, like my life was better. You know, like you forget all those things because you get connected with this person and you start feeling like you're going to be lonely and life is not going to be the same. You forget how amazing your life was before this person. Sarah82 Smith said, less communication, less dating, less everything. That's when I knew it was over. 100% totally agree with that. You got to keep the relationship fresh, man. You got to keep things going. Like I always say, the starting of how you start the relationship is how the middle should be and how the end should be. You know what I mean? I want to be 80 years old doing the same ish that we did in the beginning, right? Yes, Mani _82 said, when I started being mean for no reason, all you have to do is breathe off the rhythm and I cannot take it anymore. That's a really good answer. When somebody starts annoying you, you start snapping, there's an underlying, I don't want to say hatred, but an underlying issues, right? And you cannot get through those issues and you just start hating. I just hate when she walks by me. You know what I mean? Totally felt that. All right, I'll read a couple more. Corey Boomer 24 said, when you stop pouring into somebody that wasn't pouring back into you. Woo, like that. Ruda Thought said, when I no longer care to say anything about what bothers me, yo, that's a big sign too, for sure. I don't even want to bother anymore. Do whatever you want. Yeah, the relationship is over. All right, I'll read one more. When you're in the same house, but you feel like strangers or roommates. Woo! Those are really good answers, man. Round of applause. Way to finish off the Friday, man. All right, send me your answers. When do you know your relationship is over? Send me an email, trend at cfqr600.com. Comment below this video or send me a DM. I'll try to bring it out on Monday's show. All right, this brings us to sports news. All right, big Shaquille O'Neal is doubling down. He said, when I made the comments about Rudy Gobert, yeah, it was personal. I paved the way for y'all making $200 million. Play hard. These were Shaq's comments when he was talking about the pay for current NBA players versus past NBA players. The article is, Shaquille O'Neal has been vocal about Rudy Gobert's skills and paycheck for some time. In a recent interview with Complex, the retired legend was asked who he thought was the worst NBA player in history. Without hesitation, Shaquille O'Neal mentioned Rudy Gobert. Anyway, so Shaq is just doubling down on that. I hate to see when people like go after people for no reason, but whatever. There's probably something else going on behind there. Ultimately, although I don't think that he's calling him out, I do agree with him that some of these NBA players are getting these big, huge checks and are not putting in the work that they deserve. And that's what Shaq is saying. He's like, yo, people like Jordan and I can't remember else who he said, but Jordan and somebody else paved the way for me. Me and Kobe paved the way for you guys. Now you guys are making these big, huge checks. Jordan in his whole career made $90 million. Rudy Gobert is making $200 million and you're playing soft. So he's just like, yo, you have the money. Now's not the time to let up. And he's just thinking about the next generation before the hype is gone. So I understand what he's saying, but I still didn't love the fact that he just called out Rudy like that. Anyways, that is the end of the show. I got to wrap it up. It is my time. Thanks again so much for kicking with me this entire week. What a great week. Biggest views of all time in the Trent Out Loud podcast. I really hope it continues. Thank you all, like I said in the beginning, for all the likes, all the comments. Whether the comments are good or bad, I love them all. Most importantly, thank you to all the new subscribers. Thousands of new subscribers. It's been amazing. This is really more geared towards your YouTube. YouTube is popping right now. So thank you. I appreciate it. Tune in weekdays. Well, here, I'll give you my speech, okay? This is how we always end the show. I'll give you all the ways to keep up with the Trent Out Loud podcast. If you're used to watching this show on YouTube or listening on podcast platforms, please try to check me out on CFUR600.com weekdays from Monday through Friday. We play the Trent Out Loud podcast, but we mix it in with 90s and 2000s hip hop and R&B. It's a good show. It's a good way to break up your day. Vice versa, if you're used to listening to the show on CFUR600.com or 600 AM on your radio in the Montreal area, and you can't always catch the show from 11 to 12, I get it. You're busy. You got things to do. You got Zoom calls. You got the kids to take care of. You never have to miss a show because we upload every show on YouTube or podcast platforms. Just go to your desired site, type in Trent Out Loud. The show will pop up. Don't forget to hit the follow or subscribe button so that you can be notified when we upload new shows. Like I said, we upload daily. If you're like me and you like to watch your podcast with video, there's YouTube, but also Spotify now supports video. So we upload video to Spotify. Check us out over there. You can check me out on any social platform at Trent Out Loud. It's the same handle on all platforms. And the media company, Exclusivity Media, on Instagram. Whoever is listening or watching us on CFQR600.com, stay tuned for the midday mix with my homeboy, Don Smooth. I always stick around and listen to Don Smooth's mix. He gives you the best mixes of the day. So stick around on CFQR600 for my homeboy, Don. For those of you who are not on CFQR600.com, I will see y'all Monday. Thanks again for a great week. Peace. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Trent Out Loud. Peace.